Hey everybody, it's me again giving you a quick COVID update at the end of September. What a month, what a time we've been having here in the office and out there in the world as well. I guess it's just been such a really busy time for everybody and everything's been so strange. So I wanted to make sure that I touch base and give you a little bit of an idea of what's happening in the market, what we're sort of seeing going on within Lithgow itself and also within our office. So hopefully I try and keep this as short as I can. We all know that I'm not the best at being short with things to say. So let's see how we go, and I'll try and get through this for you as quickly as I possibly can. But before we start, can we all appreciate my beautiful new mask that I received? Isn't it gorgeous? So pretty. Lots of, I've got to fashion accessorize all of these new things that are coming in. Not wearing uniform at the moment, as you can probably notice, simply because we've got our door locked. So the front door's locked, and that's one of the challenges that we're facing with regard to lockdown, is the fact that our front door's locked and also that we're short-staffed. So we've been really short-staffed this month. One of our staff members, one of our new staff members, Bethany, she left us just at the beginning of COVID and decided to go back to the insurance industry, which is where she'd come from. It just wasn't working out for her, so she made that decision just before lockdown. So that left us short-staffed there. Lauren, of course, left on maternity leave. And then our new receptionist, Casey, lives in Bathurst, which is a different LGA. So we had to make the decision there that Casey wasn't able to come to work. And she's been receiving the disaster payment during that time and not able to work. She's been catching up on all her training during that time, and hopefully she comes back nice and ready to hit the ground running when the doors open again. So we're looking at this point, New South Wales government has said that they're looking at around the 11th of October as being the date that we can open back up. So we're fingers crossed hoping that that will continue and we'll be able to open back up on that date. Certainly, even if we aren't able to open the front door, I plan on hoping to have all the staff back working by that time. So that means that we'll have a little bit more time to devote to all of the things that we need to do. So really big thanks to everybody for being so patient with us during this period. It really has been something unprecedented for everyone. Like, I get it, you're all probably seeing unprecedented times as well. It's just sort of having to learn to roll with the punches and make new strategies. And thankfully, I enjoy that type of thing. I really enjoy working out how we're going to do these sorts of things going forward and what we're going to do to try and fix and meet the new needs that we're seeing in our area. Okay, so what we've seen at the end of this month. So at the end of last month, I started to see that arrears had begun to creep up a little bit. Arrears were sitting at 3% last month. And sadly today, I've just done end of month and arrears have crept up even a little bit more. They've hit 4% now. Which is really not great for us. Generally, our arrears are sitting around that 1% mark. So that's a really pretty big jump for us. I would say that the majority of the arrears that we're experiencing at the moment is in the commercial space. That's where we're sort of seeing some issues. And that's simply a flow on from the fact that businesses haven't been able to be open and that sort of thing. So we're trying to meet those challenges head on for our tenants and trying to make sure that we are sort of kindly trying to help them through this period as best we can, and also for our landlords as well, trying to keep everybody informed. There are definitely residential tenants that are in there as well. I'm just saying that the majority of that is commercial. Those residential tenants, there are some who have had to go through the fair trading process that's underway at the moment for people who are affected by COVID. So I have a number of tenants and landlords who are dealing with that situation. So if you're concerned about anything with regard to arrears or that type of issue at the moment, please make sure that you touch base with me. I'm making sure that I'm keeping people as informed as I possibly can, but it can be difficult, and it is a time where we do need to have some compassion around the fact that people are they're being really severely affected here. People have lost work, and we just need to do what we can do within the confines of the plans that have been laid out by the government about what we can do to try and help people going forward and to help sustain businesses, sustain tenancies, and keep things moving ahead there. So the market itself is still really tight. I told you at last end of month that we had 0% vacancy, so we were 100% occupied. That's not the case anymore. I have 2 properties available for lease. One of those is a property that's previously been on our market as short-term rental accommodation in the Airbnb space. So it's a little bit different to your traditional residential tenancy, and because of that, it's a little bit more of a difficult property to rent out. I expect fully that we will have something happen in that space once things open up again and people are allowed to travel and that sort of thing. It's really set up for companies, that particular property, and so whilst we don't have companies here at the moment, it's a little bit more of a difficult sort of proposition out there in the market because it's on the higher end, and there's lots of reasons for that, because it's fully furnished and that sort of thing. And the other property that we have available is a lovely 3-bedroom unit that's just gone on, hasn't been on for 24 hours yet. We've had a number of people begin to put in applications and inquire about that property. So whilst the market is still tight, what we're finding is that we've not got a lot of really good applications coming through. So yes, we've got not a lot to rent. Yes, we're getting applications in for those properties, but they're not all great applications is the thing. So what we're finding is that the people who generally we might sort of see applying for things are waiting. People are waiting at the moment to to see what happens when the government's going to open up. And I expect that possibly when that all happens, we might find that we have a really busy little end to the year with lots of people wanting to move and trying to sort of get that stuff done when things open back up again. So we'll wait and see how that pans out for us and what sort of happens there. Once lockdown has been lifted and we sort of shift to a new normal. Obviously, things aren't fully open until the 1st of December. So, we may still see a little bit of a lag in that time. We'll wait and see what happens. Things that have gone a little bit by the wayside just due to the lockdown, us being understaffed, not being able to do things the way that we normally would do them. There's 2 things that have really gone under the radar, I think. Not under the radar, but more that we've had to sort of shift them to the side and just say those things will have to wait. So those 2 things have been rent increases, simply because the timing is difficult at the moment. There's a lot of people that are struggling with work and that sort of thing. So we made the decision that during the lockdown period, we would not be doing rent increases. We also felt that if people were to challenge those, that we could find some difficulty if people were challenging rent increases. So we will get back to that when things get back to normal. We've got a full complement of staff back on, and we will get to those things and start that again. The other thing that's also gone by the wayside a little bit has been routine inspections. So we've had a really tumultuous sort of, past 2 years really, where we've been interrupted with our normal ability to do routine inspections. And so those will be picked up again come the new year. Come once lockdown has been lifted and we know where things are up to and we can sort of work out what happens as far as people being vaccinated and all that sort of stuff, like where the rules and things are going to apply around that sort of stuff, and we will get back to doing routine inspections. If you have a specific question around routine inspections, please send me an email or give me a call so that I can, keep you in mind as we're sort of, managing that sort of side of things. Okay. So, lastly, I guess the only other thing that I wanted to say was just if you have something specific that you want to discuss with me, if you're concerned about something, if you're feeling that, during this time where we've been understaffed, that things have not gone the way that you would have liked, please call me. Please send me an email and let me know so that I can keep that in mind and I can manage and try and sort of sort those things out for you. It would be really helpful to know if you're experiencing anything from our office that you're not happy with, so that we can try and make sure it's obviously not the way that we want things to go, and we want to make sure that we're sort of really keeping as best a handle on things as what we can during this really difficult time. So thanks so much, guys, for tuning in once again to my long rambling update for you. And lastly, I guess one other thing that I will mention is that the sale market is still very, very hot. I've had a lot of landlords who have spoken with us about the possibility of selling at this time, and we've got a few things coming onto the market and that sort of thing. So, but things are moving quite quickly still in that sale market, and we're hoping that we'll see the year closing out with that market still being quite buoyant. So that's the hope. And if you needed anything around that from the office, please make sure that you let me know that as well, so that I can speak with Rod and get him out to have a look and give you a bit of a price, and we can work some things out from there. So thanks so much, guys. I'm sure that by the time we get to the end of October, there'll be even more things to talk to you about, but perhaps next time I'll see if I can condense it down into a blog. We'll just see how we go, and yeah, chat soon. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.